Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Jason here. Today we're going over AMC, why AMC's been consolidating, and why that isn't always a bad thing. If you could, make sure you guys smack the like button below. It also helps out the video, but it also helps out new people find out about AMC. If you guys aren't a sub, make sure you guys smack that sub button below. Remember, at 10K subs, we also got a giveaway of some AMC stocks over on the public app. Real quick, if you're wondering what I'm using here, I am using Webull. There's a link down below. If you click on that, put $100 in, you get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,800. You also get the tier 2 NASDAQ views for 3 months. As you can see, it's pretty much a flat day overall. This morning, though, we did start out in pre-market hours around $10.17. We did shoot all the way up to $10.57 in pre-market hours. Obviously, there's a little bit less of a drag down in terms of sells and stuff, it seems like, in the pre-market here lately. We've had a little bit more upward boundaries in the pre-market. But going into the market hours, we usually had this sell-off about 15 minutes going into market hours, it seems like the last few days. Throughout the morning, it sinks us all the way down to about $10.05 today. We do have these movement lines up and down, up and down, up and down. This morning, we got the 1040, then we got pushed straight back down again. Then we kind of consolidated there for a while around that $10 to $10.50 area. That's pretty much where we went today. We went all the way back up to $10.34, and then, shot back down again. Then we just, waver between $10.20 and $10.25, $10.30 area. But we did end the day at $10.21. As of right now, we are in the aftermarket hours at $10.15. We did end today negative 1.35% on the day, which again isn't that big of a deal. Pretty much just a straight across day overall. Now, one good thing that has come out of this right here, if you bring this back to the 5-day, really, and especially if you bring this back to just these last 2 days, especially even the last 3 days, if you bring in the last 3 days. I know there's a downward pattern right here, obviously going up and then back down, then back up again. Now we kind of consolidated at a higher level today than we were at yesterday down here below the $10 mark for a little while yesterday. But one good thing is if you look over this past 4 or 5 days, especially since right here, obviously coming in to the last 3 days of trading right here, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday right here. If you look at these last 3 days, obviously remember we only have a 4-day week this week. Our IV, implied volatility, has came down a lot, which is a good thing, obviously, right? We're starting to see a little bit more consolidation in the stock. And a lot of times it's not always a bad thing, especially when you see this, kind of, again, is an upward movement today, which makes me believe we'll have a decent day tomorrow. I don't know if we'll have a breakout day tomorrow again, but if we see some more consolidation and a little bit higher levels again and again and again and again with that IV coming down, it's not actually a bad thing. Because for a while now we've had a lot higher implied volatility, and with that coming down and us settling back down, and we're settling at a higher level right now above that $10 mark, and as long as we don't break below the $10 for very long, I'm okay with us setting between $10 and $11. As long as we're not breaking down, that makes me feel like we have a very good solid support line, and we can see a breakout from that $10 mark going back up again. Now I do want to go over options again. If we can end tomorrow above, let's say tomorrow we get to $12, which is plausible, right? $12 is definitely plausible. We'd have another 10,490 at $10.50. We'd have another 22,255 at $11 in the green. At $11.50, we'd have 8,380, and at $12, we'd have 14,170. So this right here alone would net us a lot more shares going into Monday of next week for in the green calls. Should be great at the end of the day, and I hope we do get to that point. Even if we end at $11 tomorrow, above $11, that'd be amazing. Honestly, that's where I'm aiming for tomorrow. We end above $11, but even at $11.50, we add some more, and at $12, we even add more. But if we can get this right here, another 32,000, almost 33,000, pretty much right here alone in the green. Hey, that'd be a great day. And as I mentioned before, even today, we haven't had this growing again. April 16th is shaping up to be a very bullish week to end on. And I'm hoping we can at least maybe by then be up a lot higher, because there's some crazy bullish numbers right here. We got almost 30,000 at $11, another 19,000 at $12. At $13, we got 21,821. At $14, we got 13,253. At $15, we got 38,585 right there alone. If you break it down here to the 20 and 21, you got 21,143, 20,572. Now, I'm hoping we're at $20+ by then. I really do hope that, but at least if we're over 15 at that point, we got a lot of them in the green right here, right? You got a ton in the green. A very bullish week so far, especially from that $21 and down mark. There's a lot of call options for that week. So people are being very bullish that week. That's a good sentiment going forward as we get closer. Now, I did want to show you guys this real quick. This doesn't just apply to AMC. It applies to a lot of stocks. This applies to a lot of stocks, right? It's not just AMC at the end of the day, but it's a good comparison to AMC. You know, when you're selling in the red on a stock, it's not good, right? If you were just to hodl, you know, sometimes, man, you're so close to that diamond or that gold or whatever you're looking for, man, and that breakout, you really don't realize it. And sometimes when you let go of that, you know, you're right there waiting for it to happen. And what happens is a lot of times you sell, and guess what? If you would have just held a little longer, especially if you're in the red, selling in the red is ridiculous. I would never announce selling red, not unless you see the company, you know, file for bankruptcy or something at that point. Then, you know, obviously at that point, you're like, well, you might want to take your chances, obviously. But if you believe in a company, whether it's AMC or whatever you're believing in, sometimes, man, you got to keep on chiseling away at it. And soon enough, you'll hit that pay dirt. I want to show you guys that. I know it's not a funny meme, but this picture really does, you know, represent stocks in general right now. There's a lot of hard times in the stocks right now. And I think we'll get over that. I think April's going to be a great month for us, whether it's AMC or whether it's stocks you're believing in. I do believe that April will be a great month for us overall. Now, in other news right here, I want to go over this real quick because this right here goes over hedge funds. So the Treasury Secretary Yellen to restart hedge fund oversight panel as part of financial reform goals. This is something I've been advocating for a while. I do think, remember, I've been in the market for 8+ years, 10 years, 8 years more seriously. This is something I've been wanting to happen for a while. Hedge funds run wild in the market. Obviously, you just seen that with Archegos, which Archegos isn't a hedge fund, but family hedge funds definitely, well, family funds, aka are really hedge funds. They just have even less security than a hedge fund would have, and they don't have to report hardly anything. You've seen that just happen with Viacom. You've seen that happen with Discovery Channel. These guys went out, got loads of money and loads of cash, and margined way too high, got caught on the margin, and now they got liquidated. And you see some of these stocks coming down 60-70% because of that. President Secretary Janet Yellen presided over a meeting Wednesday of the Financial Stability Oversight Council. He said a slew of reforms he will seek, including the Treasury, mutual fund, and money market segments. In addition, Yellen repeated concerns she has about the impact that climate change could have to the financial system. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen laid out a three-pronged agenda on Wednesday to address what she described as an ongoing threats to the nation's financial system. Those threats include both disruptions that occurred early in the pandemic, as well as more recent developments regarding hedge funds. Presiding over the Financial Stability Oversight Council, she now leads, but was once a member. Yellen said last year's market disruption on the onset of the pandemic could have been worse. If not for the swift actions of the Federal Reserve, Treasury, Congress, and others, those stresses may have led to an even greater economic contraction. She said, indeed, we are digging out of a deep hole now, but we should be mindful that the hole could easily have been deeper. The meeting comes just days after the family office of Archegos was at the center of the market disruption related to margin calls. Credit Suisse and Nomura warned that they could take substantial hits, and shares of Viacom, CBS, and Discovery got slammed. A summary from the executive session of the committee said the panel discussed recent market developments related to hedge fund activities. Through the readout, did not mention Archegos specifically, mutual funds, and climate change. Yellen tasked with the council with addressing three areas: vulnerabilities in the money market and open-end mutual funds and other non-bank financial market issues, weakness in the U.S. Treasury market, and dangers that the climate change could pose on the system. One part of the work will entail reestablishing the FSOC's Hedge Fund Oversight Group, which had previously been disbanded, which shouldn't have been disbanded, honestly. The pandemic showed that leverage of some hedge funds can amplify stresses too, Yellen said. The council used to have a hedge fund working group. As of today, we have one again. We're establishing the working group so we can better share data, identify risk, and work to strengthen our financial system. A system lockup in last March as of the pandemic threat turned into a pandemic. A rush of cash among institutional investors clogged the normally or highly liquid short-term funding markets, requiring the Fed and Treasury to work together to stand up multiple facilities aimed at following those markets. Most of these facilities have been shuttered, but the Fed is still buying at least $120 billion of bonds a month, in part to ensure smooth market functioning. On this climate change issue, Yellen reinitiated concerns that she has shared on the issue and have voiced by several Fed officials. The central bank recently has established a tariff committee that will examine what big banks should be doing to brace against climate-related events. It's an essential part of the environment, and it poses tremendous risk to our country's financial stability, Yellen said. On other issues, she expects FSOC to address, including cyber threats, the growing use of non-banks for corporate credit, and the increased presence of digital currency. Now, the digital currency thing, I'm not too worried about. But I am glad, again, that they are hopefully getting this hedge fund stuff, at least, get some more rules going on with these guys. Because it's been crazy out here, man, for the past year and for the past years in general. Back on AMC real quick. I do think AMC tomorrow, hopefully we'll have at least a decently update, right? I'm hoping we have at least a good 3 or 4% update tomorrow. And we might have an update and then consolidate the rest of the day. I'd be okay with that again. If we can get to $11 tomorrow, I'd be very happy. If we can get to $12, even more happy, because that equals more money in the green for those call options. But $11, I'd be okay with. I'm hoping tomorrow we don't see a down day in the market. Tomorrow is the last day of the market. Remember, Friday, we are not open. The market is not open because of Good Friday. So we have a 3-day weekend for everybody to cool their darn head, and hopefully the market gets going better next week. We had a decent day today. As you can tell, there's a lot of green over here. But, there's still some red out there, right? There's still some red in the water. Some stocks are only like barely positive, maybe 1%, maybe someone less than 1%. So it wasn't the best day in the market, but it was definitely better than the red days we've had the last few days, right? Moment tomorrow, we see a good day leading into next week. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit the like button below. Make sure you guys hit that sub button below as well. If you guys aren't part of the Discord, there's a Discord link down below. I'd love to have you guys in the Discord. Amazing people over there. If you guys want to be up to plays over on the Patreon and into plays with us before anybody else, there's a Patreon link below. There's also some private streams, and there's also a section for one-on-ones. You guys be on some one-on-ones. Click on that Patreon link, join Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, fam.